just relaxing into this moment. I had an interesting thing happen. I broke my audio cable that goes to my little mixer, so we're making do with the phone mic for online, and this is just what we do, right? We adjust and we adapt as it goes. Please rise and join us in singing our opening song, which is Stand. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now. All right, you may be seated. And good morning and welcome to all who are joining us today, both at the Sylvan Center and online on Zoom and on Facebook. We welcome and celebrate each one of you and see the divine expressing in each of you as your unique Christ expression. And Reverend Carla is on medical leave, but look, she's here with us. Yay! And that means, I think, that her surgery went very well and that she has been recovering well, and we're just so happy to have you here with us this morning.
It's wonderful to be here.
Yeah. So our guest today for music is my husband, Michael Lawson. And thank you so much for being here, Michael. We're going to be hearing him play cello today, as well as guitar and singing with me. Michael has been in the Unity movement since he was a teenager, come up through YOU and been active as a youth sponsor. And he's been playing his cello kind of all over the region lately, so we're really grateful he offered to come and help his wife, me, this morning. Let's start with the song. This is Life is Good. Give a little light, it comes back round and I feel alright. Ah, life is good. Ah, life is good. I give a little light, I give a little light, it comes back round and I feel alright. Ah, life is good. Ah, life is good. Give a little love, give a little light, it comes back round and I feel alright. Ah, life is good. Ah, life is good. And next, I'd like to invite one of our prayer chaplains, Stevie Kaplinger, to share the daily word with us today. I think, Stevie, you can probably stand over here and do that at the light. This way. There you go. There you go.
Okay, so today's daily word, August 7th, the word for today is release. Releasing the past, I move room for the future. Releasing the past, I make room for the future. My life experience has provided me with many gifts, from joyous to painful. I've taken something from each one of them, a nugget of wisdom, understanding, solace, and that has helped me to evolve to the person I am today. I am always growing, always changing with gratitude. I receive the blessings by letting painful memories go. I have no room for regret and do not dwell on the things I cannot change. As I release unwanted thoughts, unpleasant memories, I free myself to enjoy new experience and create beautiful, lasting memories. With an uncluttered mind and an unburdened heart, I embrace the present moment and eagerly create a bright, beautiful future. A time to seek, that in the Bible verse, a time to seek, a time to lose, a time to keep, and a time to throw away. Celsius verses 3-6. Again, releasing the past, I make room for the future.
Thank you so much, Stevie. So we're dealing with a sound situation that is, like I said, that we weren't expecting today. So I'm hoping that you people who I see on Zoom will be able to hear. We're going to have Stevie come back up. I'm going to do a little interview because while Reverend Carla's out, we thought we'd just focus on community a little bit. You have had wellness calls from Stevie during the pandemic. Wasn't that great? Stevie just loves making those calls, right, Stevie? Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. We love you, and we love to pray with you. And what drew you initially to being a prayer chaplain?
Well, it was divine order. I came here for an Easter service. Lots of times I don't go to church on Easter because of family things going on. But I came to church that day, and Lisa said that she was training people to be prayer chaplain and who was interested. And so I've been around Lisa a few times, and I love her energy, and I love her, and it's like, me.
Yeah, thanks. It's been so great to have you on our team, and we know that we're going to be training more prayer chaplains in the future. And so having somebody like you who's been around and has done this a long time, it's really, really helpful.
Oh, I want to say, I went to India in 2019, and I just had the perspective that I needed to be a prayer chaplain when I went to India. And when I went to India, I never told anybody I was a prayer chaplain, but I just needed it in me.
Yeah, okay. Good job. Yeah. Okay. So you've been in Unity a long, long time, right?
30 years.
Whoa, 30 years. So we know Unity people get around a lot, and they've been a lot of times to many churches in the area. But what initially drew you to Unity?
So I used to work in El Dorado Hills, and they used to have a radio station called the Motivation Station. And Billy Blaine did a talk at 7:30. So she would tell her perspective of religion, her perspective of looking at life in a positive way. And I'm like, okay, there's a church I can do. I know I can do that church. And I found it 30 years ago.
Oh, we're so glad you did. And see, so I just wanted to ask you one more question, and that, what is your current passion? What is it that you just love, that lights you up?
So I shared that right now I'm listening to Brené Brown, Atlas of the Heart. And so growing up, we really didn't talk about feelings. We didn't talk about, what was going on in our family. And Renee shared that that's real common. She's doing the statistics on emotions, and people thought that there's only 3 emotions: happy, sad, and anger. And it's like there's way more. We have emotions all day long, but we don't connect to them. And so my passion is to come from my authentic self, through love, understanding, into the I did want to share, so after I found Uni and maybe like 10 years, I told my mom. And so my mom found this book that my great-grandma got literature from Unity Village. This is from 1950. So though I didn't know it, I'm 4 generations from Unity. And my grandma had Norman Vincent Peale's book, the Power of Positive Thinking. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Cindy, for being willing to share. We're going to spotlight a different member of the congregation each week that we have the time to do that. And so that'll be, we're going to look at our board members next. So get ready for that. Let's sing another song. This is I Am As God Created Me. This one goes kind of way back.
So this song is designed to turn the congregation into a choir, if you guys feel like it. And since we're both here, Lisa's going to be singing a different part sometimes.
Yeah, so don't be thrown
If you feel
off.
like singing one of the other parts, feel free.
In the So at this time, we prepare for blessing our prayer requests. We have a prayer box in the lobby. So any concerns that you may have for yourself or for your loved ones or for the world, you can leave in that prayer box, and one of us chaplains, that's myself or Stevie right now, will take those and we'll pray over them, and we'll send those names to Silent Unity, where we will pray, where they will be prayed over for 30 days. And I do encourage you to contact Silent Unity anytime for your personal prayers. The information is up there, the phone number. There's an app called You Pray. If you forget, the phone number is 1-800-NOW-PRAY. It's really easy to remember. So at this time, we breathe into the space of all is well. And we see those that we love filled with the life of spirit that indwells them, as we know that perfection is theirs. Perfection is inherent to the being of each person, and that there is good in every situation. So we relax into this knowing, trusting that indeed all is well. As we relax, we release our concerns into the loving care of Christ's Spirit this morning. Amen. And now let us prepare for a time of meditation. And we breathe into this moment as we meditate on the power of life. Place your attention at your lower abdomen. And I invite you to speak internally with me these vitalizing words of truth. The Christ in me is quickening my faculty of life. I am calm and serene. I allow the universal life force to flow through me, to heal, to energize, and to recharge my physical body. I am grateful. And breathe. Life flows through my whole being as radiant energy, devoted to the Christ activity and governed by wisdom and by order. I awaken this life power at this center, and I feel its action radiating through all the cells and atoms of my being. I exist in joy, and I am thankful for this divine life and for its activity within me. So we affirm together now, internally. My life is God life, whole and free. I am alive and alert and awake and joyous and enthusiastic about life and about living. I accept God's life as a pure stream, healing and harmonizing every part of my being. I am renewed and restored and reborn through the activity of Christ in me. And now let us spend a moment in the silence. I appreciate my faculty of life. I praise it. I bless it. And I give thanks for it. And I know that my supply of life is unlimited and everlasting. And so it is. Amen. that great? Cello's so beautiful, right? It's funny, I had a class in high school. It was in economics. You know, you're supposed to project what you might be doing in 10 years or something. And I imagined that I had married a cellist. And look. So a few months ago.
A lot of pressure on me.
Yeah, my high school boyfriend thought it was really funny that I ended up marrying a cellist. Yeah. So a few months ago, a group of scientists got together and for a conference, and they decided that science had come so far that humanity no longer needed God. So they picked one scientist to go and talk with God and tell him that they were just done with him. And the scientist walked up to God and he said, God, we decided that we don't need you anymore. Because, you know, we have Elon Musk's rockets, and we have vaccines, we have self-driving cars, we have internet, and we can even clone sheep. So you can just go away, mind your own business from now on. And God, of course, was very patient and kind and listening to the man. And after the scientists finished talking, God said, okay, are you done? Well, how about this? Before I go, how about we have a human making contest? And the scientist said, sure, I can handle that. And God said, but we're going to do it just like I did the first time, back in the old days with Adam. And the scientist said, okay, no problem. And then the scientist bent down to pick up a handful of dirt. And God stopped him. And he said, no. That's my dirt. You go find your own dirt. So such is the mystery of life, right? That's the mystery. That's the ultimate question. How is life even possible? And where did it begin, and what does it mean? What does life mean? So the dictionary defines life this way. Life is the condition that distinguishes animals and plants from inorganic matter, including the capacity for growth, reproduction, functional activity, and continual change preceding death. That's a lot of words, right? A lot of words. But does it tell us what life actually is? No, it doesn't. But we know what it is, right? We know intuitively. We just don't know how it can be. Life is our generative force. That's a lot of life right there. It's our generative force. It's the creative force. In the Hebrew language, the word ruach means breath or spirit. And it's the breath of Yahweh which carries God's life force. And this force enlivens everything. It makes plants grow. It brings intelligence to cells. It lets two cells from two people come together to create an entirely new being. And it is our commonality. It is what makes us one. And we sense this through the connected force of love. And life is also one of our 12 spiritual powers. And what this means is we can harness it and we can use it in expressing our Christ potential. So, the power of life is associated with the disciple Judas, because each power is. And in our body, it's found where you might expect in the sexual organs. It is generative force. And the color associated with it is red. And we use the power, there it is, okay, yeah. All of this power is coming down through the spinal column, and life is there at the bottom. We use this power of life all the time because we're actually creating life all the time. We're creating through our thoughts, right? In every moment, we're creating. But let's use an example of how we might use life. Let's say we want to make a pizza. So we start with the power of imagination. We're thinking of it in our minds. And then we get a little bit excited about it. That's the power of zeal. That comes next. And then we have to choose to go ahead and make that pizza, and that's the power of will. But then it's the power of life that actually helps us carry through and sustain and make that pizza come into real physical being. Okay, so life is that action-producing, sustaining power that makes us come into physical. So like if you were to compare with a rocket ship, since I did use that in my title, 321 Blastoff, life, even though zeal is like the initial launch, life is like the boosters that take our rocket into orbit around the Earth. So the power of life is what gets you out of bed in the morning to greet the day. It's what energizes our bodies and makes us want to move. And oh boy, it's where we get our sensation and pleasure. So I saw a really wonderful example, and I thought, oh, that'll work in a talk. Last month when we were hiking on Angel Island, I saw a wonderful illustration that I thought would work for the power of life. See those two old military houses? If you hike around the island, you can find these lots of abandoned buildings, and they're mostly all painted white like that. But a group of volunteers restored this house a little while ago now. Look how beautiful it is. To me, that was an example of the power of life. We can just see it, we can feel it, right? We know where it is. And that abandoned house is such a contrast, right? So, you say, I get it, I know what life is. But how is it a power? It's a power, we can use it in healing. Who's done that? Anybody's done that? Anybody else? Well, maybe try it, yeah. Myrtle Fillmore, the mother of Unity, healed her body of lifelong illness by speaking words of truth to all the life centers in her body. You know what that means? That means, oh, I see you, perfect, whole, complete, full of life, energized, everything in order, and I love you. I did this. When one time I was at my house and I was climbing in my little shed, there's this ladder. You know what? They took that ladder off the market. Well, it was there's a little loft in this shed, and I climbed the ladder, and guess what? The ladder slipped out from under. It wasn't attached well, or it's just the design of the ladder. And I fell backwards on the ladder, straight back, like a domino, onto my head. And that was pretty serious, right? Well, I went inside, and I tried to consider whether I should go to the emergency room or not. And I just drew on that power of life. I sat in that chair, breathed into the power of life, and felt it coursing through my body. And I knew that I was going to be okay. And I was. It did take me a while to heal from that, but I was okay. So we have this choice. When something's wrong in our life or in our bodies, we have this choice to tap into this power of life. When a dis-ease expresses itself in our bodies, we don't always know why. We don't need to know why. We don't always need to know why. Sometimes we do feel like we know why. But we can let this power flow through our bodies to heal and to renew us. So if you haven't done that, I challenge you to try it. It works. We all also know those stories like where a mother sees her child trapped under a car and she's able to lift it, right? And they're true stories, right? How does she do that? Well, that's the power of life. And it's combined with strength, the power of strength, and the power of power. When we see these amazing feats happen. Charles Fillmore Unity's co-founder, compared life in the body to electricity in a motor. And he said that we have to direct this life and we have to regulate it because life is not in itself intelligent. We have to know when and where to apply it in order to get the best results. So we choose where to put our life energy. And something that's important to realize, which actually goes with the reason this is associated with the power of with the disciple Judas, is because we can use it informed with our higher consciousness, or we can use it from an ego or a sense consciousness. And we've all used this power in sense consciousness. We've used it when we maybe eat too much and feel really engorged and bloated afterwards, right? Or maybe if we're binge watching TV all night, which Michael and I did that with Alias. That was a really hard one to stop. And when we should be sleeping, giving our body a chance to renew. Or, if we're picking up our phone too often, we also get endorphins from that, from this little wonderful burst of pleasure from those little apps. But that's life used in sense consciousness. We're looking for more of that life. We have it within us, though. We can always access it. Oops. It's hard to remember which. So much technology. So, and there's times when I've got caught up in this creative feeling of this life power, even when it is a good direction within us. Sometimes it's just so attractive, we just become obsessed with it, with that feeling. And I've done that sometimes when I create a concert. Actually, I think it's probably one of my worst habits of becoming kind of obsessed with whatever it is that I'm creating so much that I get in this tunnel vision. And it's like an obsession, and it feels good, and I keep going, and I'm creating, but then what do? I'm forgetting to tap into my source. And sometimes, there's been times when I get sick before a concert. One time I had to sing with laryngitis. It was really pretty bad. And this happened because I was so focused on my desire, I didn't stay centered in God. I didn't use my divine wisdom, and I needed that divine guidance. Your power of wisdom shows you where to direct your life energy. And when you do that, you feel joyous and free and energetic, and our desire is uplifted, and we receive everything we need. Now, we all have moments, of course, when we don't feel full of life. And that's okay. Because sometimes we need to withdraw. We need to go into grief. We need to go into quiet time. It's like winter. It's like a seed, underground, gathering its nutrients, gathering everything it needs. And then we really need to allow that. Sometimes it's hard for us to do that too. It's like a time where we're waiting for these conditions to be right so we can, like a seed, break through the shell and shove up through that dirt to reach for the sun. Like a plant. So, okay, we're talking about using our life power and sometimes being obsessed by it, but sometimes also it can get blocked. And I find it interesting that out of all our spiritual powers, it's life and elimination that are the physical ones, right? Can you think of anyone else? Let's see. Love, faith. I don't think any of the other ones are really manifesting so much in the physical realm. And so they go together. So love, we use wisdom, but also love and elimination go together. Because if you don't eliminate, you're going to have some serious health problems, right? And maybe even die, right? So our life is dependent on elimination. We have to shed what we don't need in order to have room to grow and to create. So what is it? What do you need to release to grow and to create? Do you need to release any old beliefs or any old stuff or old relationships? Because when you do, you'll have more joy. Yeah, you'll have more life. So as we conclude this talk, we're going to draw these ideas together. Okay. So this is a little exercise for you to take part in. I want you to imagine something that you desire. Something that makes you excited, or something that brings you joy. It can be something physical, because we manifest that with life. Or something intangible. We manifest it all with life. I want you to just rest in that imagination for a moment. And now bring that imagination, that idea, into the field of your wisdom. That feels serene. It feels supported. And now feel that life bubbling up within you. It could be from your root chakra. Infusing that idea, that imagination with life. And it's giving action to this vision. We see this vision animated now. Now I invite you to carry this vision, this idea with you, full of life, holding that feeling with it. And we affirm that as you go forth, alive and alert and awake and joyous, enthusiastic about life and living, you accept your life, your power of life. It's a pure stream, healing and harmonizing every part of your being. And so it is. Amen and amen. And thus is the lesson. So Michael has this wonderful song that he has been playing at various churches. Do you want to say anything about this?
I think the cello is cool because you can kind of get away with playing all kinds of stuff because it's a cello. But this is an old hymn. I guess it's probably a unity hymn that I always heard at Christ Unity when I went there. So I heard it recently, and sometimes when you're doing music, there's pieces you just have to get out of your system by playing them or composing on them or something. So that's what I did.
so much, Michael. All right. So at this time, I would ask our ushers to come forward as we take our love offering. And we just breathe into the life. We celebrate the life that brings us our supply, as we know that in every moment we have all that we need. And we give you thanks so much for your supporting Unity Spiritual Community today. As you are this community, you are a vital part of this community, and it's through your support that we're able to provide our services. We do take our offerings here at Sylvan Community Center or online. We have links on our website and on our weekly newsletters. If you're not signed up for that, we do encourage you to do that. Our usher, Mariana, would be happy to take your name and your information so that we can help you with that. So at this time, let us bless our love offerings together, knowing that divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I choose to give, and all that I am open to receive. And so it is. Thank you, God. Amen. So we just have a few announcements. And first of all, I guess we kind of already got updated on Reverend Carla. Wow, you look so radiant this morning. So we're going to take it slow and see what comes. And then Reverend Carla will be with us whenever she's able, and she'll be taking part in different elements of the service, whatever she's ready to do. Next week is on Zoom. Our service is on Zoom. We have a guest speaker, Monica Hart. She is an accredited prayer chaplain. She's been a chaplain in hospitals as well as in the Unity movement. She is a life coach. She has been in the Unity movement for a long time, and she's graciously offered to come and speak to us next week. She has chosen to speak on the power of power. So I guess we get 2 12 Powers talks in a row this month. So it'll be fun to hear somebody else do that. And then I didn't put this in the announcements, but the week after that, James Buffalo Moreno is going to speak for us. And I think, I forget his name of his title, but it is about being yourself in a crowd. And James Buffalo Moreno has been a practicing shaman for 25 years, and he was former spiritual leader of Unity Grand Rapids. So he'll be right here at Sylvan Center in 2 weeks. We've got some other things planned, but not the details firmed up enough to put in our announcements. But keep an eye out. We'll put them in the newsletter, and they'll be on the website. We have created a GoFundMe account to help the church with hiring guest speakers and musicians during this time, to help with Reverend Carla's, to keep supporting her financially as we usually do during this time. So thank you to all of you who participated in that, and we would just let you know that if you would like to, you'll be able to find that link on our website. Right now it's in our newsletter. I'll put it up on the website too. And we invite you to stay and chat. We have some yummies, some coffee and water and yummy things, and this is our time to get to know each other and let each other know what we're doing. So invite you to stay to do that. And now let us close with our closing songs. Yes, please rise. We must together, in unity and love. We light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you so much for being here. Go in peace, and please stay and chat.